Okay, so the next community day was announced, and if you're not aware, it's actually going to be Magikarp. And I see a lot of people complaining about this particular community day, and I could totally understand why players are upset. And I'm going to be talking about that in today's video. It's definitely going to be a hot take, but yeah, let's get right into it. And how's it going, everyone? It's me, it's Count here with a brand new Pokemon Go video. Today I'm going to be talking about the upcoming community day and why players are absolutely upset about this particular announcement. Now, when it comes to Magikarp, this is the very first shiny, in fact, that was ever released into Pokemon Go. Technically, I think it would have been Gyarados, but we've essentially come full circle when it comes to shinies. Like, Magikarp is the first, and it finally gets itself a community day. Now, when it comes to community days, they've been doing some very interesting things with community day Pokemon. Like, as of recently, we've had Weedle, we've had Ghastly, we've had Abra, and a lot of players have been scratching their heads at why these are the community days for this year. But I thought it was pretty obvious. These are all Pokemon that have a Mega Evolution, so that is probably why they are focusing in on all of these Pokemon. And of course, one of those Pokemon with a Mega Evolution is of course Magikarp. As you may or may not know, Magikarp evolves into Gyarados, and Gyarados does have a Mega Evolution. And if you did not know, Mega Evolutions are coming to Pokemon Go really soon here, so it just makes sense that Niantic wants to fill up our Pokedexes with Pokemon that could potentially Mega Evolve, so that when the feature comes out, we will have a whole bunch of Pokemon to enjoy this new feature with. Now, when it comes to Magikarp in particular, I feel like the negative sentiment towards this being a community day is definitely going to happen, mainly because a lot of players have been wondering where Pokemon like Axew or Gible are, like why they are not getting a community day. And for me personally, I could totally understand why people are upset, but I still think it's not necessarily fair towards Niantic. First and foremost, Magikarp is, essentially a useless Pokemon, but Gyarados is still pretty good. When it comes to the Premier League, Gyarados can be a very heavy hitter, and I think a lot of PvPers neglect Gyarados, which I think is a big mistake. I think Gyarados actually has a lot of different uses in the game of Pokemon Go. Like when it comes to raiding, he's also a pretty decent choice if you do not have good water types. But when it comes to Community Day, the typical player is more concerned about the shiny. And of course, Magikarp is one of those shinies that are pretty abundant among the community. I mean, it's pretty hard to find a player that still does not have a shiny Magikarp. In fact, most people I know that didn't have a shiny Magikarp ended up getting one over Pokemon Go Fest. So to see this announcement directly after they finally get their shiny Magikarp, that was kind of a low blow for them. Now, if you saw my day 2 vlog, I actually played with one of my good friends from Korea, and one of his main goals for GoFest was getting a shiny Magikarp because that was the one shiny that has eluded him since he started playing the game. And of course, during Pokemon GoFest, he did get a shiny Magikarp, and I could just feel the positive energy just oozing from him because he was so excited about finally getting his shiny Magikarp. But then a couple days later, we get the announcement that Magikarp is going to be the next community day, and you could definitely tell that this player was extremely disappointed. I mean, come on, he finally gets his shiny Magikarp after 4 years of searching, and then he just gets that buzz completely destroyed by having this sort of announcement. And then for players who already have dozens of shiny Magikarps and shiny Gyaradoses, this is another community day where it's just going to be a lull. You see it all over social media. A lot of players are claiming that they're going to skip out on this community day, which my god, are you crazy? It's a Triple Stardust Community Day. Regardless of what Pokemon it is, you should be grinding your hearts out. But in any case, yeah, a lot of players are planning to skip out on this next Community Day. And I can understand some of that sentiment. I mean, we just had the grindiest Pokemon Go Fest ever, so a lot of players were probably looking to take a break for a little bit when it comes to grinding. But yeah, I just feel like this Community Day in particular is a little bit underrated, and people are not necessarily giving it the kind of attention it should be deserving. But even though I think that, I still understand where players are coming from. I still understand why players are frustrated, and I can relate to some degree. I just feel like people need to give Niantic the benefit of the doubt. A lot of people have been pretty negative towards Niantic recently, and some of that negativity is definitely well merited. Niantic has had a lot of different missteps throughout this year, but they've had a lot of good things as well, and I think those tend to get overlooked for the negative things. I really think Niantic is trying to set us up for Mega Evolutions, which is why we should stay positive about this particular Community Day. I mean, when it comes to Community Day, we really haven't seen that much of a surge with them recently anyway. Like, a lot of players have been skipping out on Community Days anyway. So for players to suddenly get really upset like Niantic is ruining a good thing, I just kind of don't get that. I don't think they're ruining Community Days with these Pokemon. I just think that they're slowing it down a little bit. And yeah, Mega Evolutions is definitely something that they are building up towards. Now, to be honest with you, I really think that they should be using that as part of their marketing. Like, if they are having these different Community Days, then why are they not communicating the point that Pokemon like Gyarados, like Beedrill, like Gengar, that they all have Mega Evolutions? So for some of us players who are disappointed that they are bringing in an old shiny for a Community Day, like, we at least have that to look forward to. So I don't know why Niantic is not mentioning this. I think it's something that's really important. But yeah, regardless of the fact, I'm actually pretty excited about this Community Day because not only is there Triple Stardust for a Pokemon that's easy to catch, but I've always wanted myself a Shundo Gyarados, and I do think this is going to be my best opportunity at getting it. When it comes to these Community Days, we at least see 1 or 2 hundo callouts from where I grind. So it's definitely a possibility that I'll be getting my Shundo Gyarados finally. So I'm really actually excited about this particular Community Day, even though I have dozens and dozens of shiny Gyaradoses at this point. And even now, when I get shiny Magikarps, I tend to even just transfer them because I have too many of them and I don't have enough bag space. So yeah. Now here's something that I see a lot of players complaining about when it comes to this particular Community Day. I think a lot of players want Niantic to do something for them when it came to this past Go Fest. Like, a lot of players were disappointed by this past Go Fest, and they feel like Niantic is, they have to make it up for them in some way, maybe with a Gibble Community Day or something really cool like that. But I think Niantic already had these sort of things planned out, and they're going to be hard pressed to deviate from their plans. And I think that's just really how I see it. Like, yeah, I think Niantic should have done something really cool like a Gibble Community Day just to get some of the negative sentiments out of players' minds from GoFest. But at the same time, I do think that they have a big picture perspective that all of us are not seeing, and that in some ways we do kind of have to trust the system. Like, I totally think Niantic has this grand plan when it comes to Pokemon Go, and you could definitely see it in some of their sentiments, like with their recent developer insights video. Like, you could definitely tell that the developer has a lot of different things in mind when it comes to Pokemon Go and the future of Pokemon Go. So you definitely know that Niantic is mindful of the future and the long term of Pokemon Go. Like, for example, with a Gibble Community Day, I think they want to kind of draw out the value of a shiny Gibble a little bit longer. Maybe they have some plans for Gibble that we are not aware of. Maybe they're going to have a Gibble Community Day as kind of like I don't know, some people are saying in case of emergency, break glass kind of situation. Like, people have been pointing that out. Maybe that is what they're doing with Gibble Community Day, that they could do a Gibble Community Day right now, but they're choosing to hold out on Gibble because they're waiting for the opportunity to unleash Gibble Community Day when the game is starting to decline. So I don't know. But yeah, I just think that all of this is by design, that they're not just giving us Magikarp on a whim. I really think they are setting us up for those mega evolutions. I really think that's the whole point of these recent community days. So yeah, they may seem kind of lame right now, but I do think that over time, players will appreciate the fact that we did have these community days, but that's just me. I could be completely wrong here, but yeah. And again, I'm going to say this for the third time. I totally understand why players are upset. I do think that their frustrations are well merited. Like, yeah, this is kind of a lame community day Pokemon that players really are going to have a hard time trying to get excited for. But at the same time, there are reasons to be excited for this community day, and that's something that I wanted to argue. But in any case, yeah, I could totally understand that players are going to be disagreeing with me, and I totally am okay with that. I would love for players to just discuss with me why they don't like this community day choice, and I would love to debate them on why it's actually not that bad. But that's just me personally. I'm personally excited about this one, and I can totally understand why anyone else isn't. But yeah, let me know your thoughts down below. What do you think about this particular community day? Are you excited about it, or are you really disappointed? Definitely share your thoughts down below, and let's have a great discussion. But in any case, yeah, that's going to be it for this video. I just wanted to share my thoughts regarding it. I mean, there's just a lot of backlash going on towards Niantic. Like, I even saw a tweet where someone was saying how Niantic does one step forward just to do 12 steps back. And I don't know. I just don't think it's that extreme. Like, yeah, they've had a lot of missteps and they've done a lot of very bad things this year, but they've done so many good things, and I just feel bad that a lot of it is getting overlooked, and I think Niantic deserves a lot more credit than they are actually getting. But that's just me personally. We have to see how the end of the year goes. Like, Mega Evolutions could be a complete bust. The level cap increase could be a complete bust. But yeah, I just want players to be in a wait and see mode rather than just anything Niantic does, we have to hate them for it. I just don't think that's okay. But yeah, that's just my own thoughts and opinions. I'm done with this video. And yeah, hope you enjoyed it. I'll catch you all later.